let me start with the basics which are mandatory to learn MicroStrategy. The basic things are, you need to understand the data warehousing concepts. So you should know what is a SQL. It's a generic SQL in the sense you should know what are joins, what are views, and what are subqueries, and a basic functionality syntax which are required to write simple SQLs with using joins and subqueries. Okay. Now let's step into the MicroStrategy part, and basically MicroStrategy has got current version is 9.2.1 is the version which was used in MicroStrategy currently, but till April 2010 it was used 8 version. So in 2010 they get into the 9 version part, and we do have a new features which are like, you know, very important stuff these days. People are more using into it. Okay. Now, before getting into the MicroStrategy stuff, what are all the required to know the data warehousing concepts here? So what is a data warehouse? Have you heard about data warehouse?
A little bit, yes.
Okay. So you should know what is enterprise data warehouse. I'll come to this one by one. I'll just cover the topics which are mandatory. Okay. So you need to know what is olap, oltp. Olap is nothing but online analytical processing, and oltp is nothing but online transactional processing. You have similarly, you have rolap, which is a relational online analytical processing. You have molap, which is multi-dimensional online analytical processing. You should know what is holap. So it's called hybrid online analytical processing. Let me tell you, till MicroStrategy 8 version, it's a rolap tool. When it was got introduced with 9 version, it has got an essence of molap functionality. So when you say rolap plus molap, that's nothing but holap. That's hybrid. How you call it as? Having rolap and molap functionality into it. Make sense?
Yes.
So you have dimension, you have fact. Have you heard about dimensions and facts anytime?
No.
Okay. So what is a dimension means? Dimension is nothing but a description of a category. Let's say we are discussing about a particular category here, and that particular category may have a description. Let's say we are discussing about an object, in the sense a pen, okay, or a TV, or a particular car. So that particular object has got some description. In the sense, it's a car, and which brand it is, what, like, you know, what is style, what is a model, and all those things. So those are called dimensions for a particular object. Understand? So you have a fact here. A fact is nothing but measurement of category. When I say measurement, it may be a cost of a car, it may be profit when you sell a car, what is the revenue generated by a car, and what are the discount you have given to sell this car, and all these numbers and measurements comes under facts. Make sense?
Yes.
So we'll go in detail, like, you know, probably when we start the class, but I just want to give a demo for you. So apart from these things, you have a star schema model, snowflake schema. So these are two different types of data models available in warehousing to create a design of a particular project. So you can use either of them, but the star schema is very simple way of doing it, which has got data is not, it's the data is more denormalized, and whereas Snowflake is normalized. Make sense?
Yes.
Now you have SCD. What is mean by SCD? Slowly changing dimensions. Okay. We have different types, that is 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have junk dimensions, we have conform dimensions. Okay, apart from this, you should know what is an architecture of the data warehousing. And in real time, people say SDLC, software development lifecycle for data warehousing. So I'll be covering all this information before starting MicroStrategy, and just copy pasting it in your chat box for your reference. Okay?
Okay.
Now let me get into MicroStrategy. Basically, we have different roles available in MSTR: admin, architect, developer. Okay? So if you're going initially as a with a minimum experience, it's always preferred to go with a developer, then architect, then finally for an administrator, or else you can directly jump into the administrator also. Architect, you should have a knowledge of ETL backend and everything. Okay.
Okay.
But working with MicroStrategy would be pretty much easy, but try to understand like the backend concepts to explore to a higher level, for applying for an architect job. Basically, we have different components in MicroStrategy: desktop, web, intelligent server, narrowcast server, command manager, enterprise manager, object manager, integrity manager. You have mobile, you have office, you have SDK. Now, what do you mean by desktop? Desktop is something, a software which is installed in your machine, okay, where you will be using it. And let me tell you, all these components by default have access to administrator, but architect and developer always work on these two components.
Okay.
So other components are used by admin only, okay, but each and every component has got its own task to be run. Okay. Now, desktop is a common object or a component where people, everyone, all the developers, architects and administrators will be using it. Now, what happens? Admin come, he install the software, he create a project, give it to architect. Architect pulls the tables into MicroStrategy, he design a project, he creates objects into it and give it to developer. What developer will do? Developer will create reports, required metrics, objects, KPIs, everything. Create the reports what are required and create the dashboards. Okay. Finally, after all doing this, developer will test this particular reports and he will send this report to web. Why? End user have to see the reports in the web. End user will not have desktop installed in their machines. This will be used URL. Okay. Now, if you want to categorize this, 80% of the task will be done in the desktop by architect and developer. 20% will be done in the web. What does the 20% means? So you will be creating reports, dashboards, everything, but when you put it in the web, you might see slight differences in the sense like, the look and feel, the colors, the formatting will be different. You can do certain functionality changes, cosmetic changes in the web. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Thanks. So, intelligent server. I can say it as a part of MicroStrategy. Okay, we'll discuss this particular intelligence server when we talk about architecture after this. Okay, narrowcast. This particular thing is used for distribution services. What do you mean by distribution services? I've created a report or a dashboard, and you are in US right now, so your CEO is sitting in UK, and probably some of your clients are in Africa or some other place, or Mexico or some place.
Sure.
So you created a report or a dashboard, and you need to send this report every day to your CEO, probably by 9 o'clock in the morning. You cannot send everyday mails, right? So what you'll do, you'll schedule a task in narrowcast server. You send them through email, pager, cell phone as a message. Okay, these kind of tasks can be done in the narrowcast server, but in the latest version, emailing, all these stuff are available in desktop itself.
Okay.
If you want it to run bulkily, you go with narrowcast server. Most of the people, they don't use it. Very few people like pharmacy companies and retail organizations, they use this. Okay.
Okay.
Command manager. So command manager, it says like, you write commands to do this, but MicroStrategy is a GUI tool, graphical user interface. You most of the time use mouse than keyboard. Don't need to write any, but where you may require to write a single line or double lines of code for bulk report execution, bulk user creation, or access, start, stop, intelligence server. You can use this. Okay. Now, this particular thing will be used for audit and log purpose. In the sense, how many people have been creating reports from last 6 months? How many valid, distinct users are available in my project? Because administrator might be creating duplicate users sometimes. That will be a big problem at the audit time with MicroStrategy or within the organization.
Sure.
Okay. So apart from this, how many reports were deleted by Pawan in last 3 days? How
Sure.
many were created by, Paul in last 4 months or something like that? Okay.
Yeah.
So those information will be available here. As you know, probably you in the real time you have development, validation, and production servers. Whenever you start a new project, you start with the development. You do it once it is successfully completed. Testing team, the QA team will come and test it. After that, you promote them to production, live, go live. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what a scenario. To move the objects from dev to QA and QA to production, you use this object manager. Migrating objects from one server to another server. Okay. Next. This is the rarely used component. Hardly used it last 3 years one time. You can compare two projects to reports. When would you use this? Like, when you have moved reports from QA to prod and you need to check line by line what is the SQL generated and all those stuff, you can use this integrity manager for comparing two reports and two projects. Make sense?
Yes.
Mobile, and this is used these days. Like earlier, it was only with Apple, iPad, iPhone, iPod, etc., and BlackBerry. And these days, it's already with Androids also.
Okay.
If you have iPhone, just install the app and you can see the reports in your mobile also. This is also a rarely used component. Most of the people, they don't buy it. Out of 100, you can see less than 10% people are using it. because you can report your report to Excel, Word, PPT, HTML, MHT, all formats. PDF includes. If you want pivoting, have you heard about Excel pivoting, swapping the rows and columns?
Yeah, yeah.
So that can be done in the Office. Okay.
Okay.
SDK, and which I am not going to touch and cover. This is particular thing will be used in customization of reports by using Java, .NET or any other programming language. If you want a special logo, if you want a special functionality which you don't have in MicroStrategy, you can, using APIs, you can embed them or create them in MicroStrategy. Okay?
I see, yeah.
These are components. Let me copy paste it. Now, architecture. Two-tier, three-tier, four-tier, five-tier. Two-tier, you will have database directly connected to desktop. How it looks like. You create reports, you hit the database, pull the data. Make sense?
Yeah.
Database, intelligent server, desktop. So, this particular report, what you have generated cannot be viewed by anyone. Okay? So, if you want to view it, you need to connect to three-tier where you have server, everyone will connect to server. You can see all the reports. Okay? So the important information about this intelligent server is so let's say for example you ran a report in desktop. Okay? It goes to intelligent server and you look for a cache. Have you heard about cache?
Yeah.
So you look for a cache and you see the data is available in cache or not. It means have you run this report in this session or not already. Okay?
Right.
Now, if you have already ran this report in this session, then what it will do, it will pull the data from there itself. Okay?
Okay.
Now, if you don't run this report from, already in this session, if it is not available in cache, it goes to SQL engine.
Right.
Okay? The SQL engine will generate SQLs like, different parts of SQL using the objects which you have placed in the report. There may be attributes, metrics, filters, etc. Sure. And those parcels will be sent to query engine. The whole query will be sent to database. There they execute the SQLs, all these queries, pull the output of the data to query engine again. Okay? And that query engine send this data to desktop and show it in the report. This is a normal mode. If you are performing any specific calculations at MicroStrategy level, some matrix calculation, some kind of complex calculations, some arithmetic calculations, those will be handled at analytical engine. So this data will send to analytical engine and those calculations will be held here and then sent to desktop to see the report. Make sense?
Yes.
Now, you will have the same here. I cannot show you, it's a notepad. So the intelligence server is directly connected to web also. So whatever the task it happened here, everything will happen when you run the report from web. Okay?
Sure. Sure.
Now, the phi tile. What happens? The includes web. This will be connected to narrowcast server,
Oh, okay.
which we have told you, which I have told you just now.
Right.
Now, next. What is the next one? Let me copy paste it because I may forgot these things.
Sure. No problem.
Now, objects, and this is the last topic we have in MicroStrategy demo. So here, what are all the objects will be available in MicroStrategy? Configuration objects, so whatever I'm showing you, I'll be covering almost everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Configuration objects involves, and this first of all, this will be done by administrator, and it has got installation of software, project creation, metadata, and ODBC, and database connectivity, everything, intelligent server, everything. Okay. Apart from this, I'll be covering duplication, and apart from this, I'll be covering all the admin components which I've discussed on the top. All the admin components. Okay.
Okay.
Next, you have schema objects. This will be done by architect. These have tables. Attributes are nothing but dimensions in data warehouse. You call them as attributes in MicroStrategy. It's a naming convention difference here. That's it. You have facts, hierarchies, transformations, you have partition mapping. Public objects. Developer will be working on this. It has got consolidation, custom group, filters, prompts, metrics, reports, intelligent cubes, you have drills, templates, dashboards, and dynamic dashboards. Okay. So what is consolidation? Is nothing but collection of attribute elements, and custom group is nothing but collection of filters, and you have 5 types of filters. You have almost 7 types of prompts and 4 types of metrics, different types of, almost I can say 5 types of reports also. Cubes are only one thing, and drills, templates, dashboards, dynamics dashboards, and all this stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
You have widgets, flash mode, everything.
Sure.
All cosmetic changes, everything will be covered here.